is up, Nuggets? It's your boy, Killer Pizza, here with a brand new video for you rascals and rapscallions out there. Today we have a pretty fun video to make because the Rad Pack is back. The Rad Pack is back, Jack. We got Mighty Ducks vibes in this video, but the Rad Pack is back with a brand new challenge. Before they did the Rad 9 movies that made us, and now we got the Rad 9 movies that scared us. And if you guys haven't subscribed to the Rad Pack YouTube channel, go do it right now. They do a lot of really cool stuff, lots of really awesome live streams. They're individual channels as well. Garrett from Born to Be Rad, Mel from My Killer Podcast, and Justin from Movie Watch Daily. Looks like he rebranded to Justin David, so make sure to check those channels out. And you know, I wasn't going to make this because I just got done reviewing every single Friday the 13th movie and ranking them. So, you know, 15 days I've made videos, and I'm a little tired. But, you know, I couldn't let everybody else have all the fun. I had to get in here a little bit too. So I'm a little late to the party, but better late than never. But anyways, let's hop right into it. And I wanted to give a couple honorable mentions just for fun here. The first one I wanted to talk about was Demons. I actually watched Demons 2 on 4K last night, and it was absolutely amazing. And this isn't the movie itself that I'm going to talk about because I didn't see this film until I was much older. I think the first time I seen it was when I reviewed part 1 on my channel. But this VHS right here. Now, I never seen this as a kid, but I remember walking through the aisles of the horror section as a very small kid and always looking at this movie. The Italian movies in my video store always seem so weird, like, you know, foreign obviously, but foreign in my world. Like the cases, the hard shell cases just seem different, and this cover was so terrifying. I never had the guts as a kid to ever pick it up and rent it. I was scared to death, and every time I would go in that aisle, I would always walk past it and look at it and think about it. And you know, it didn't let me down when I seen it much later. Still a scary movie to this day, but I decided to throw that one on there. And my second honorable mention, I know a lot of you guys have been throwing TV shows on there. Garrett had some X-Files shows on there. I figured, let me throw a TV show in here. So I'm going to throw you guys a bit of a curveball. You know, I was scared by a lot of Tales from the Crypt. I was scared by the old Twilight Zone. Were really creepy to me, but this is going to be a curveball, like I said. The Steve Urkel, the evil puppet doll, the Halloween special from Family Matters. Look at that. That is terrifying. And I think it was more that this threw me off as a kid because it was always such a fun, you know, easy watch, like happy show, you know, a lot of joking and, you know, a comedy. And this is actually a very creepy episode. The doll itself, the voice he uses, how he's trying to steal Steve's soul. And then when they have the small person walking in the suit, that is terrifying. That scared the shit out of me. So I had to throw those on there. But anyways, let's get right on to my actual list of 9 movies that scared me. So first off, we're going to talk about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now this is one kind of like Demons. It was like almost like an urban legend to me as a kid. Like I always heard about this, always seemed too young to rent it. I remember talking in elementary school actually, like or 6th grade, like early middle school about this film. So I was probably 6th, 7th grade when I finally watched this movie, and it terrified me. Just the way it was shot, how grainy it is. It almost looks like a documentary. So in one hand, as a small kid, you almost thought that this was real. It looks like a documentary in a lot of ways. And the scene when he comes bursting out and grabs Homeboy and pulls him back into the basement, slams the door, I'll never forget that image. Or when Leatherface hops out with the chainsaw and scares Sally and chases her through the woods. Very scary. I actually rewatched this 4K not too long ago, and that is one of the chase scenes where nothing happens that is actually very intense and scary. Like, scary movie to this day. Alright, next up, speaking of Tales from the Crypt, we have Tales from the Crypt Demon Night. This one definitely scared me as a kid. Very, very fun movie. I should really go back and watch this, throw this on my Halloween watch list. The thing about this movie that scared me the most was the demons themselves. Really cool makeup effects on them. They are very scary looking, each and every one of them. They look almost like Goro, like Mortal Kombat, with their long hair in the back. In the way that they had to drop the blood to use it like as a force field, so the tension when these demons would come that close to get into you. And what's his name? The lead act, Billy Zane. Billy Zane is actually pretty creepy, charming but creepy. So this one was a very scary movie to me as a kid. Those demons scared the shit out of me. Next up, this is unopened, by the way, because I have not watched A Nightmare on Elm Street. Okay, Nightmare on Elm Street's my next one. I can't tell you which one I'm talking about necessarily. Like I said, this is unopened. I haven't rewatched Nightmare on Elm Street movie in years and years because I've been holding out for the Scream Factory box set. But at this point, I think it might be time just to bust this open and watch these again. But I can't tell you which Nightmare on Elm Street movie it was. I just know I was way, way too young to be watching this. I was over at my grandma's house on my dad's side, and a lot of my uncles, my youngest uncles were still teenagers living in the house then, and they wanted to show me Nightmare on Elm Street. I remember just laying on my stomach in the living room watching this. They had all the lights cut out and everything. And I remember one of my uncles went into the kitchen and he used masking tape, scotch tape or whatever, and taped a bunch of butter knives to his hand. And the way the kitchen was set up, you could creep around the other side of the living room. And I remember him coming out and scaring the living shit out of me with these knives on his finger. And like I said, I don't even remember which one I was watching. I just was probably literally 5 years old. I had to have been that young. And it scared the shit out of me. And, as I got a little older, before I was probably even 10 years old around that time, and as I seen more of the movies, Freddy became more of like a comedic figure, not so much scary to me, but definitely scared me. Next up, we have one I'm very excited to get the 4K of. By the time this video comes out, I will already have it in my possession, probably watched it, but that is Pumpkinhead. This one doesn't get enough respect, in my opinion, for being a creature feature at the time that it came out. But the old woman, the witch in this movie, scared the shit out of me more than anything. She's terrifying looking in her voice. She scared me so much. And this monster, Pumpkinhead, terrifying. Great work on this monster, the practical effects on this. And I wasn't going to pick up the 4K, and then I started thinking back about the looks of like the storm at night and the lights in the sky with reflecting off Pumpkinhead's face. I thought, this is going to look absolutely badass. I got to pick it up. But between the witch and the monster itself, Pumpkinhead scared the crap out of me. Next up, someone else had this on their list. I think Mel had this on her list. I believe a lot of people have this on their list. Fire in the Sky. I believe I only seen this one time as a kid. The second time I ever seen it was when I picked up this Blu-ray. But this movie is so scary. The fact that it's based on a true story, the abduction scene you see on the cover is terrifying. Obviously, the scene where all the aliens are going to work on him in their little laboratory, whatever you want to call it. I'm at a loss for words when they would do the deal to the people, but all the procedures they give to him. One of the creepiest scenes you'll ever see. When they're probing him and whatnot. Fucking terrifying. And then rewatching it again, it's like the scene where he has flashbacks and is like freaking out with the syrup dripping off of the dining room table underneath the dining room table, like hiding and even like his friends that take off and go to the bar, how shook they look. This movie is still pretty damn scary. All right, here's one I guarantee is on everybody's list, and here's my pathetic copy of it. The Exorcist. I picked this up when I first started collecting, so it looks like I got a region-locked copy. Luckily, I have a region-free player, but I want to pick up the 4K of this, but I really want to try to get that like Bible box set. I don't know when that comes out. If anybody can help me with like a link on how to get that, I really want it. I don't know if it's a pre-order still. I can't seem to find much information online. If I can't get that, I'll settle for something else. But I think a lot of movies that deal with aliens, spiritual shit, or like biblical Bible shit, that a lot of that can be scary because that's the unknown. A lot of stuff people don't know about or think about, you know what I mean? And there's not much more to say about this movie. Everybody knows The Exorcist. It's fucking terrifying, this entire movie. Probably maybe the scariest movie I've ever seen. Another one I think will be on a lot of people's list, that is The Fourth Kind. Now, I remember watching this with a roommate of mine back in the day. He was telling me all about it all week. We finally sat down and watched this movie. He low-key had me convinced this was real. I was the one that had to convince him it wasn't real after watching it. It's like, the way they mixed like the real footage with it, you didn't know. Like when the guy starts levitating on the bed, when the girl's mouth comes ripping open, or when the spaceship comes at the end. This movie is fucking freaky. There's a reason it isn't opened yet. I should probably check this one out too. But this movie is very eerie, very scary. The tone of this movie, it just makes you feel a certain way after watching it. I bet you nobody has this on their list. Though Chucky scared me a little bit, We got Dolly Dearest. And I swear I had a slipcover for this. I don't know what happened. But anyways, Dolly Dearest. This one scared the shit out of me. This is another one I watched when I was too young. If you guys don't know, if you're new to my channel watching this video for the first time, my backstory, pretty much, I had an older sister, and every time we go to the video store, I would run and rent a WWF, a wrestling tape, or one of the Rocky movies, and she would always get a horror movie. And since she was older, we would always watch one of her movies first, and I watched so many horror movies I probably shouldn't have watched. It's funny, I talked to my mom yesterday at the time I recorded this video, and she actually watched American Gothic, and she was telling me, like, you guys shouldn't have been watching that as kids. That movie was fucked up. And it's like, the tone of it's kind of eerie, but like there's not really much gore besides the dead bodies in the basement then. And I remember telling my mom, like, we watched so many more fucked up movies as kids than American Gothic. But this movie scared the shit out of me because my sister, I was really little when I seen this, and she had a doll that looked almost identical to this, that took big old batteries, that was electronic, that could like crawl and walk. And she used to torture me with this and like put the batteries in it and turn it on and have it like chase me, and I would jump up onto like the fold out bed in the couch, where we used to have a fold out bed in the couches where we'd watch the movies, and I would hide up there, and scared the shit out of me. Not a very good movie at all. After I rewatched it, kind of lame. I think only 3 kills in the whole movie, but you know, a lot of these that scare me come with age, and this one definitely spooked me. Dolly Dearest. Last but not least, I really should have picked up that nice double feature, the Steelbook from Walmart, but that is the Blair Witch Project. This was a very scary movie. I remember when this came out, I was still pretty young, and this literally was the talk of the town. I grew up in, you know, a pretty close neighborhood, you know, where everybody talked. It was like a little low-income apartment complex, and this was the talk of the whole neighborhood, the talk of the whole town, which another one that people were legitimately convinced this was a real movie. And I was convinced it was real when I seen it. And the ending scene, when he's standing in the corner, the fact that you don't really see what happens, the camera just gets knocked down. I remember rewinding the VHS tape over and over again, trying to like, you ever like try to like see something at a closer angle as a kid in a movie, and you're literally moving your head like that's going to change the angle and what you could see. We're just trying to get a look at the ghost. But the scene for me, I mean, the fingers or whatever, the bloody fingers in the bag, it's really creepy. It's when those kids are laughing outside the tent. This movie kind of like just grabs you by the soul, by the heart, you know, because it's the fear of the unknown. Everybody's been camping. Everybody can be a little scared of the dark. And the fact that it's blocked off from the tent and they hear that laughter and their reaction. Good acting for something they played off as real, because I believed how scared they were. And when the kids start pounding their hands on the tent, terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. This movie scared the shit out of me. So, that's it. That is my list, guys. That is 9 movies that scared me. I'm sure I'm going to think of some other ones that scared me, but this was just me scanning over my shelf, and those are the ones that did it. So, yeah, hopefully everybody joins in on this challenge, because it was a lot of fun. And to the people at Rad Pack, my dogs, keep coming up with these challenges. I have a lot of fun doing these. Hopefully everybody else is going to do these. I'm definitely going to watch everybody else's challenges, because this one was a lot of fun, as well as the rad movies that made us. Anyways, like I said, check out the Rad Pack. They do some pretty damn good stuff over there, all good people. And if you haven't, if you don't mind, like, comment, subscribe on my channel. I would really appreciate it. Other than that, Blood, Guts, Gore. I'll check you guys next time.